How's it going, everyone? I'm Buddy, and this is my fiance Emily. And today we're going to be talking about our experience on our Disney World vacation. Can you believe it's been a year since we've been to Disney World?
No, it feels like it's been like 4 months or something.
4 months, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, this is going to be a two-part thing. The first one, we're just going to be talking about our experience and going through our photo album, which we haven't gone through in a while. And part 2, we're going to be talking about our tips and tricks. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you know when our new video comes out. And if you give this video a thumbs up, it would be greatly appreciated. Day 1, we started at Disney Springs.
My favorite part of Disney Springs was meeting Guy Fieri, Ferrari,
Guy Fieri.
whatever his name is. I don't think I was expecting to have like a full day. I mean, it's not a park, but a full day of like Disney. I thought it'd be like, oh, like go and there's some shops and a couple things to do, but it's like
no, it's a full.
Yeah,
it can be
huge.
a full day.
Yeah. Like I would have budgeted more time for that, I think.
We went to a store and a cast member gave us these pins that says celebrating coming to Disney together or something like that. And she gave us the advice to not go to Fantasyland first when we went to the park, and we completely did not.
Oh, we did not listen to that. I forgot she said that because
at all.
We obviously did not do that.
I guess from there we can just talk about Magic Kingdom, which was our day 1. The first thing we did, we took the picture in front of the castle, like everyone does.
Oh.
We got there, I think like an hour before the park opened, and saw the little rope drop ceremony and ran straight to Fantasyland to get on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because we knew if we didn't do it then, we probably wouldn't be able to get a fast pass for it.
Yeah.
So we had to do it right at the beginning of the day.
Walk, don't run.
Yeah,
they told us everyone
don't run.
had to wait behind the rope. Everyone wanted to run, but we couldn't do that.
I would say it is a very good ride, but I wouldn't wait in the line for it. From there, we just hit everything that was in Fantasyland, basically. Peter Pan, Mickey's PhilharMagic. We did everything. We rode It's a Small World, and that was neat.
It was very scary. But we made the best of it with our little dance.
After that, we went on the Jungle Cruise, which we did not care for. The jokes in it were pretty rough.
I hate puns. I hate puns so much, so that was just not the place for me.
We hit basically all the classics that day. Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain. We did the Buzz Lightyear ride. Emily didn't really care for the Buzz Lightyear ride.
Either I'm just really bad at it or my gun wasn't working. I don't think I'm bad at shooting games, but my score was just atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious.
And then we met Stitch, one of our favorite characters. I got you the little Stitch stuffed animal there.
Yeah.
Normally I'd be against buying stuffed animals in the park, but I've never seen one with all the arms like that. Like that's one you can't just get in a normal store.
Pure alien Stitch. Something I'm really glad that we rode was Haunted Mansion. When I was a kid, when I went, I remember going on the ride, but I think I was scared and I just had my eyes closed the entire time. So it was nice to be able to actually experience the full thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most classic rides there. It's a must ride. If you are even thinking about going to Disney World, this is a must do, along with Pirates of the Caribbean. I like it a little bit less now that they've added Johnny Depp into it. I mean, the animatronic is well done, but I wish it was still like its own standalone thing. But that's just a personal preference.
Winnie the Pooh. We need to talk about Winnie the Pooh. The Winnie the Pooh ride.
We need to talk about one section of the Winnie the Pooh ride.
As someone who has the internet and has Twitter and Reddit.
And loves deep fried memes.
Nuked memes. I'm here for all of it. Went on the Winnie the Pooh ride for the first time and saw the meme where Winnie the Pooh is lifted. Is it his soul? I don't know.
He's dreaming. It's a nightmare.
He has an out-of-body experience and just floats away into the darkness. My jaw dropped. I think I was the most entertained person on that ride at that moment because I was astounded that existed, first of all. I thought it was just fake. Like, I thought it was just, like, part of an episode or something. I didn't know it was in the ride.
Yes. See, I knew it was in the ride, but I had forgotten about the meme. So, that's the thing.
Didn't know there were memes at Disney World.
Well, it's full of memes. You just gotta know where to look. One of the last things we did that day was Splash Mountain, and we looked like ghosts because it was raining. It downpoured, and then we rode this ride, and we're just going down. We look like a bunch of ghosts. Splash Mountain, I just thought it was just going to be a normal drop ride, but I didn't realize like the whole ride was like a 10-minute
Oh yeah, it was very very cool to look at. Everything that you go through, the little river hole things on the side.
Yeah.
It was nice.
We watched the fireworks. The fireworks were awesome. They were the brand new Wishes show. Yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Kingdom is like the quintessential Disney park, so really a lot of the other parks we'd pick and choose what we wanted to do, but this one I think we rode basically every single thing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It was one of my favorite days. Day 2, we went to Animal Kingdom. We got there right at the beginning, like right at Road Drop again, because we wanted to do the Avatar ride just like we had done with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. But by the time we walked back there, I don't know if they had like the early morning magic hours that day, but the line was already like 3 hours and we didn't want to do that. Luckily, later on in the day, through the app, we were able to get a fast pass for it because someone must have canceled or something.
Yeah, Buddy was a pro with the fast passes.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that in part 2.
The new Avatar ride was amazing. I didn't think I was gonna like it. The whole time I was sitting there, I was just kind of like, oh, like, this will be okay. It's fine. It's just one of those rides where you just sit. But, like, I was just, like, pleasantly surprised as time went on. So there's, like, this new and improved Soarin', basically.
Yeah,
and then
basically,
what's
like,
the other one?
Just the Na'vi River journey.
Yeah, that river journey was absolutely amazing. It was probably, like, one of the most, like, artistically...
Yeah, it's a really short ride. The shaman at the end is, like, I think it's, like, a world record or something, like, the most, like, advanced animatronic, like, of its kind, like, ever.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's awesome.
we had to go on the Bugs Life ride. The Bugs Life movie, and Hopper scared the crap out of us, as always.
Yep.
That movie's still terrifying, even as an adult. The scariest thing for me, if you saw my video last year before I went on the trip, I said I was terrified of roller coasters, and the one I was scared of the most was Expedition Everest, and I was a little scared going on it. And after I rode it the first time, I think we rode it like 7 times, like immediately. We just went in, because they have single rider lines, and we just went on it over and over and over again.
One of my personal favorite parts of Animal Kingdom was, like, a path that you follow shows you all these different kinds of animals. For me personally, it was a great break from the busyness of Animal Kingdom. Wasn't it honestly called, like, Harambe's Walk or something?
Shout out to my boy.
What is it?
I know there's the Harambe Market.
We saw Harambe at Disney.
We went through Dinoland USA, which is basically, it's kind of like off-the-shelf, like, carnival rides, which is okay for what it is, but I think Disney should have higher standards than that.
I was not expecting that. I don't think I ever once was told that there was the Dinoland USA, and when I got there, I was just kind of like, what is this?
Well, I knew it existed, but I had forgotten that it was just, like, off-the-shelf rides. One good thing about Dinoland USA is it has the dinosaur ride, which was a good ride.
Yeah. That's the one where it started raining, and it was indoors, so we just rode it, like, 6 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I was a little bit disappointed with the Kilimanjaro Safari because all the animals were asleep. But I guess people have said that, like, if you ride it, like, early in the day or at night, the animals are out. I remember waiting in line to get a picture with Mickey and Minnie for, like, 45 minutes, and by the time we got in there, we were disappointed because the lighting was absolutely atrocious.
Like,
on the
most
picture.
of these, yeah.
Yeah. I think the last thing we did that day was the Cali River Rapids, and we got soaked, so after that, we just left. We didn't stay for the night show.
We decided to skip the night show and...
Be well rested for our next day at Epcot.
Epcot. Oh, Epcot.
Which, for us personally, it wasn't really our thing, because we were there mainly for attractions, and Epcot has the least amount of attractions. Epcot's still really, really cool, but I guess after the first 2 days being amazingly with attractions, Epcot, like, in comparison, was not as great.
I think the reason we didn't enjoy Epcot that much is because at the time I was 20, couldn't drink on a budget, couldn't buy food at every single place. Everything was very spread out, so it wasn't so much as the boom, boom, boom as the other 2 past parks. It was more drawn out, so you had moments where it was just kind of like, wow, I'm tired, but at the other places you could just, like, forget about that because there's, like, constant stimulation all around you.
and like, I love Epcot, and exploring the countries is really, really cool, but I guess for us wanting to be like boom, 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 like onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing, we weren't really in the mood to explore everything.
No, yeah.
Japan was our favorite. The store in there is just insane.
The store, I think that the store reflected the culture very, very well. Some of the other places, it was more like gimmicky stuff. It wasn't just gifts. It was like actual apparel, home stuff, food, like take-home food, not just like little stands
Yeah.
where you buy snacks. It was more as if you actually walked into a store in Japan,
yeah.
I guess.
As far as attractions go at Epcot, we rode Test Track, which was a decent ride. I'm not really into the designing the car thing. I wanted to just ride the thing.
If you like cars, you'd like it. I think it's one of the only like
Yeah.
car rides, you know.
At Disney World, at Disneyland, they have the whole Cars like the movie area.
Interesting.
And
Oh,
we
they
did.
have a whole area for cars?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
They had the aquarium there. They also had the laziest ride of all time, the Sea with Nemo and Friends. But we might talk about that at a later date.
They had Ellen's Great Adventure.
They had Ellen's Energy Adventure. We rode that for the last time. It closed like a week after we left.
That was the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced. Just the way that the ride moves. I didn't even know that someone would sit down and design that and be like, yeah, this makes sense. It just did not make sense at all to me.
Kramer was in it, so I was okay with it. We rode Soarin'. It was okay. After you ride Flight of Passage the day before Soarin' is very underwhelming, I'd say. It's still a good ride.
Yeah, if we thought it out, we would have done Epcot and then Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the Living with the Land because I'm environment plant nerd. I liked seeing the little garden, and that was a nice little break. It was an attraction that I felt like I actually like gained something from. Not just like, oh, you're entertained. It's like, oh, you're entertained, but you're learning just a little, and I like that.
And of course, Spaceship Earth is a classic.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely a must ride.
Just so happened that night, it was the most gorgeous sunset ever, and we were all the way at the most furthest away part, and just being able to like, I think we sat on a bench, ate a funnel cake or something.
We were in the American Pavilion.
With a duck next to us. I mean, it was perfect. And just sat and like looked at the sunset and saw like the silhouettes of all the countries. I think that was like a snapshot moment in my head where it's like, oh, I won't forget this, you know?
So Hollywood Studios was our last day at the parks. I wanted to do that last because Fantasmic was one of my favorite things, so I wanted to do that as our grand finale. The park, when we went, I know with Toy Story Land, now it's a lot better, but when we went, it was kind of a barren wasteland.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel bad because my favorite attraction at Disney World is at Hollywood Studios, but the problem is the rest of the park around it at that time did not equal a good park just because the best ride, in my opinion, is there. But yeah, I still had fun that day. We rode the Great Movie Ride for the last time, one of my favorite rides when I was a child. I have a lot of fond memories on that ride, and I'm sad to see it go, but looking forward to the future with the Mickey and Minnie ride, which, fun fact, is the first Mickey and Minnie attraction ever.
Something I remember from when I was a kid when I went to Disney is, for some reason, I remember the Aerosmith ride so well, and the whole time I like was just waiting to go back to this ride because it was the coolest thing ever. It had that thrill that you don't really get with the other rides, other than like the scare on Everest. There's like, it's something that you would see at like a Cedar Point, and my face kind of explains my emotions while riding that ride.
We got our pictures with Mickey and Minnie. Of course, we had to get some good ones after the not so good one at Animal Kingdom.
I appreciate how they're in normal attire at this park, not in safari outfits, and I was not expecting them to be so short.
Well, you were just very long.
Yeah.
We saw the Little Mermaid show, we did the Muppets 3D movie. We did basically every single thing you could do at that park because you could get through it in half of a day at that point.
Yeah.
My favorite ride, obviously, is the Tower of Terror. Love the Twilight Zone, and I was too scared to ride it as a kid, so I was very happy to ride it now as an adult.
Same thing with me. I was way too scared, didn't want to do it, and I didn't realize it was more than just a drop up and down.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, we thought it would just go up and down. We didn't know that the car moves and you go through.
When that
like
car went forward,
my heart stopped.
I was gonna piss myself. It was so scary. I like thought like the ride was breaking. I thought I was gonna die. It was not good.
Just being transported into the Twilight Zone.
Just being transported out of my comfort zone.
And then at the end of the day,
I forgot. Okay. We look like actual idiots.
that's okay. It was raining. As I was saying, at the end of the day, obviously we did Fantasmic. We were scared it was going to get rained out, and I think it was delayed
It was
for
delayed.
like an hour.
Yeah.
We were sitting there, so we were scared that our grand finale was going to be ruined, but
Yeah.
thankfully it wasn't. When I was a kid, I thought the show was amazing. Now I think it needs a little bit of an update, but it was still very, very good, honestly.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just think that there's so much technology out there, and it's freaking like Disney World. They have the money for it. I just think that it's long overdue.
Well, it hasn't been updated in Disney World since they made it. They just redid Disneyland's. So hopefully ours is coming soon.
Frowny faces of us leaving.
And yes, and we were very sad to leave that day.
We went back to our wonderful Airbnb.
Yes.
No, we didn't. We drove back to the other side of Florida.
Yes, we did. Okay. Yes.
Forgot about that.
Yes, after we left the park that day, we drove all the way back to Anna Maria Island. And then a few days later, we ended up going back to downtown Disney with your parents. And yeah, that was about it. Bought souvenirs and came home. Yep, so that was our trip. In part 2, we're going to be talking about some more tips and tricks and what our favorite stuff was. So
and our least favorite.
And our least favorite.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys for watching. Do you want to talk about your friend?
I would love to talk about my friend.
Make it brief.
So, I made a friend. He was very small. He was some sort of gecko. I have a leopard gecko that I love very much, and I found this wonderful little friend, and he was just a baby, so I spent at least 20 minutes just staring at him. And that's about my friend.